There may be no football this weekend, but it doesn't keep West Ham out of the news at all. In fact, we seem to be everywhere at the moment, don't we? With obviously the reports on Lopetegui, etc., seems to be doing the rounds, and the never-ending sort of doubt whether we're going to make a change or two more games, all this rubbish we have to keep reading about. But I'm not talking about Lopetegui today. I'm talking about transfer rumours. The big one at the moment that seems to be doing a fair bit, gaining a fair bit of traction, is Mohammed Kudus leaving the club this summer. Well, actually, in January, the reports are that the club would consider selling him in January, which I'm going to say right now, I don't believe whatsoever. I don't see why West Ham would ever consider that if he's got a release clause being activated, which will come live, in the summer. Transfer window, I think, believes to be £85 million around that mark. So I'm not quite sure why West Ham would even consider selling Kudus, someone of his ability, midway through a season, especially with the way things are going. We're going to need him absolutely, because the way, we could find ourselves in a relegation battle the way things are shaping up. So no, I'm totally dismissing it, but I'm not dismissing the fact that he'll be likely to leave in the summer. I feel like that was always going to be the case with Kudus. I feel like it was always going to be a season or two that he would be at West Ham. It was a stepping stone for him. He wants to go and play Champions League football. Look, we know Kudus when he's at it and at his very best, he's right up there, isn't he? So I've got to be honest, I feel like I can understand, I do get it, fans thinking that it's a kind of sign that we're a feeder club to the bigger clubs, but I don't necessarily see it like that. I just feel like it's the general football pyramid as it works anyway. We talk about Brighton, we talk about how they operate. Why aren't West Ham like that? Well, that's what Brighton do. Brighton bring these players in knowing that they're going to be there for a short period of time, to sell them on for a massive profit, and they can then go on and rebuild. We have to be clever, especially with PSR rules. So I'm to be honest with you, I've got no real issue with it. The only issue I have got is where he's going to end up. So talk is, at the moment, Arsenal and Liverpool are going to be the front runners at this stage. I mean, this is early days as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure other clubs will be interested in Kudus if West Ham are open to selling him. Well, as I say, there's a release clause in his contract anyway, so we might not actually have a choice in the matter. As I say, I always felt like it was always the plan anyway, that he would be likely to go this summer, so I don't think there's going to be much resistance. I don't think West Ham are going to be trying to sway him to stay, offering contracts and stuff, because he wants to step up. He wants to go and play Champions League football, etc., and you can't really blame him. Of course, it's disappointing to lose your best players, but you've got to bear in mind West Ham spent, £50 million, I believe, on Kudus, around that mark. So if you're looking to sell him on for £85 million, it's good business. But as I said, I'm wary of where he goes. I certainly don't really want to see him go to Arsenal, especially the fact we sold Declan Rice to them as well. I don't want to start feeling like they're a club that they just keep coming in and picking our best players out when they can go. The thing is, with these sort of things, I always want West Ham to use the money wisely. That's the key, isn't it? That the West Ham not so much sell the players, but reinvest it in a wise manner and show some ambition. Now, when we got Tim Steidten at the club, I felt that reassured me a little bit, that we'd have a plan in place. Right, okay, we're going to sell Kudus for this, then we're going to go for this player, that player. But this summer, it does leave some question marks, doesn't it, over our strategy, because let's be honest, it hasn't been. I'm not saying it's been bad. I don't want to sort of paint the picture that it's been a terrible summer, we bought badly, but it did feel a little bit like we weren't really sure of who we were going to go for in terms of types of players. The striker situation, I've kept talking about it, is the same. You look at, we were after John Duran, a 20-year-old, a prolific goal scorer, someone that can fire from distance and is a powerful striker. And then we end up with a 31-year-old German that's not playing. It just didn't quite tally, and a totally different type of player, and also injury-prone German as well. So that's left me worried a little bit, I've got to be honest. I do feel like, well, can West Ham be trusted to go and spend the money wisely? I don't think we can, but that's not to say I think it's bad business. I really don't think it is. I think just West Ham, I'd like to see, if he's going to go somewhere, I'd prefer him to go to Liverpool personally, if that's the choice of the two. But let's wait and see. I still think it's early days, but I'm totally dismissing the fact that he is likely to be going in January. There's just no way. West Ham, why would we? Unless, of course, a club like Liverpool or whatever came in and said, well, I'll tell you what, he's available for 85 in the summer, we'll pay you 100 now. Then you could understand it that West Ham might go, okay, we're tempted to take that now, get extra 15 million in, and we can reinvest quickly. That I might understand, but I don't see a club doing that. I don't see many clubs spending big in January. The way the rules are at the moment, everyone's got to be careful and quite tight. So I highly doubt that we're going to be losing Kudus during this season. I think that is just rubbish. I think that he will be here till the summer, but I don't see him being here next season. I think there's a couple of players as well that are like to go. I think Edson, Alvarez is one. I don't see a long-term future with anymore. I feel like he flirts with the idea of moving on. And to be honest with you, as much as I like Alvarez as a player, i.e. his ability on the pitch, I don't like his temperament. I'm finding it a little bit exhausting, this continually getting yellow cards and red cards. I'm finding it quite boring. You look at the guy that's probably going to miss like a quarter of a season through suspension pretty much every year. It's just not worth it. I'd rather us reinvest in another defensive midfielder, someone that's going to be a bit more reassured and can... I mean, to be honest with you, when I say reinvest, I mean, we've got academy players coming through. We're talking about it recently. I had a lot of comments in the previous video about our academy, and it's dead right. We've got all these quality young lads coming through. I want to start seeing them given a chance, So, yeah, that's all that is really. I don't really want to go too far into it. I don't think it's worth worrying about in terms of January. I just think it's just total rubbish. I think summer's, is quite a way off yet. We've got a lot more football to play, and we've got a tough season ahead. Let's be honest. Things aren't looking great, and we've got obviously the manager situation, which just isn't looking great, is it? I feel like his days are certainly numbered at West Ham, so I think that's more the prime focus at the moment, rather than worrying about what's going to be happening in summer, which is obviously quite a few months away yet. But yeah, that's what it is. I wouldn't be surprised to see those two players leave. It's just where he ends up, Kudus, and I certainly don't bloody want it to be back to Arsenal, because it just feels like we're going to get a fair bit of stick from Arsenal fans once again, like we did from Rice. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, go on your ones.